You gonna point? Hey, welcome. Hello, hello. Welcome, crafting friends. How is everyone tonight? Thursday night. It is Thursday night, right? Is it Thursday? Is it Wednesday? Thursday. I don't know. I think it's Thursday. It's been a day. So how has everyone been? Thanks for joining us. My name is Robin. And behind the computer, behind the camera is my husband, Bill. We are Raincross Farms Makery, and we are just outside of Lewiston, Idaho. And we've got a crafting project to show you tonight. So hop on and say hello. Let me pull it up on my phone so I can see it a little bit better. I know. Every time I do. Hey, Lois and Ken and Jackie. Welcome. Good morning, Jackie. Friday morning to you. Early Friday morning. Hope everyone is doing well. Hello, Patty. Yeah, I know we're late. The microphone had disappeared to upstairs.
I needed it. Okay.
He needed it. He forgot to bring it back. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Liana.
It's my microphone.
It's his microphone. He's letting me borrow it. Anyway, so that took a minute or two, and then I restarted my phone, and you know that never goes as fast as you want it to. So welcome.
Hey, Jen, thanks for pointing out that we're late. Appreciate it.
Yeah, pointing out the obvious. Okay, you know what to do. All this good stuff. Thanks so much. I don't need to say it. So, okay. Tonight, we are going to do 2 a.m. but wide awake. Oh, I have some days like that, not many. Usually it's 2 a.m. after I have gone to bed at 9 and slept until about 2 or 3. And then I wake up for an hour or two, and then I doze back off to sleep again. Okay, today we are going to do a project using this transfer. This is one of our C-size transfers, so it's 12 by 18. It says, "Let your heart be glad," and it's got all these little modern-looking flowers, floral designs. I don't know if it's modern. I don't know. I don't know the word. They're not necessarily realistic, stylized. I don't know if that's the word. Anyway, this is what we're going to do. Just so you know, I'm an independent designer for Chalk Couture. This is one of Chalk Couture's transfers. We have surfaces that you could chalk this onto easily. But if you didn't have one of those, I'm going to show you how you can make your own surface, even something big enough to fit this 12 by 18 transfer. And it'll only cost you about $5 and a little bit of paint and a little bit of time. So, are you ready?
Hi, Melissa. Hey. Thanks for sprinkling.
Hi, Melissa. Thank you so much. Okay, maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't. This might be old news for some of you, but we are going to make a surface out of paint stir sticks, and we are going to use the Big Daddies. These I got at Home Depot. They are called 21-inch ruler sticks, but they are the 5-gallon paint stir sticks. And at my Home Depot, they come in a pack of 3 for like $1.50. And for this project, you're going to need 3 packs of them. We're going to do 9 across. And then you'll also want a couple of these little shorter ones. These are the 1-gallon ones. So there's 10 in this pack, and I think it's $1 or $1.50 also. So you'll need a few of these also. These are going to be the braces on the back. So this is what they look like. They're made out of inexpensive wood, but these are like 1/4 of an inch thick, so it's pretty substantial. Because stirring that paint, and for whatever reason, I mean, they have ruler markings on the back, which won't have anything to do with what we're doing, except that those will be face down. So So they will have a right
Let's see
side.
if you measure up or not.
Well, that's to see how much paint you have in your 5-gallon bucket.
Exactly right.
Or you can go take it out into your yard and see how much snow you got. Or you can just measure things. I actually use these in my garden. You know, when you're out planting your seeds and it says plant them 4 inches apart, I use these as stakes, and I would write what I planted, you know, onions or marigolds or Brussels sprouts, and then I could use the measurements to see how far apart my seeds were. Something else you can use them for. But tonight we are going to make a surface out of them. Okay. So how is everybody? Looks like we have 8 people on. Ken is here. I know Alana contacted us and said she has a previous engagement that she was going to try to get out of, but isn't sure. But I see lots of our usuals. Hopefully we'll have some new faces on too. So especially if you're new, say hello. Open these up. Okay, we are going to, there's a couple of ways you could do this. You could make the surface and then paint it. If you liked that color, if you like that fair wood color, you could just leave it that way. But I'm going to do the, dogs didn't want to share the bed last night. I know who wins that fight.
They just want to be close.
They do. Okay, and I'm going to open up this pack. So we're going to use that baby wipe technique that kind of makes a stained look without the price of using stain. And instead of doing it like a wood color, like I usually do, I'm going to do moving out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to stain it with turquoise. Okay, it's not one of my normal decorating colors, but it's spring and it's time to mix things up, and so we're going to do this with turquoise. Now, I don't want my hand to be turquoise at the end of the night. Hi, Cindy. So I'm just gonna put on a glove, not because of chemicals or anything, but I just don't want. You'll get paint on your hand. It'll wash off, but I'm gonna use a glove. Okay, so what I'm gonna start with, if you haven't seen this, I'm just gonna use a baby wipe. It could be a disinfectant wipe, just one of these little wipes with moisture in it, and I'm going to take some acrylic paint. This is Folk Art in the color turquoise. Probably got it at Walmart. And the moisture thins out the paint and kind of makes it a staining effect. So you will still see the wood grain through that, which is what I'm wanting. If you don't want the wood grain, you want it painted, then by all means don't dilute it and just paint it on. And I'm going to do the back also, just because I like my pieces to look finished front and back.
It really brings out the measurement.
Yes, it does. So it's the measurements will be on the back. And
What gets me is they still don't put metric on there.
no.
I remember in third
Oh,
or
yes.
fourth grade, I know it.
Got to learn the
Yeah.
metric system.
You 10 years, you're not going to be able to use anything else but metric. I can still remember my teacher telling us that.
Well, I'm sure Jackie just kind of laughs at us.
I don't blame her. Now, wait a minute, because Great Britain still uses both. In
Okay.
fact, they get a little mixed up
Okay,
on both.
so is that true, Jackie? Do you use the metric system?
On
Or
some
do you
things.
use both? Or what? You are our resident Great Britain expert.
Anybody in Canada, they use metric.
Okay. Now, one thing I'm noticing, and I'm gonna try this. The baby wipes kind of leave fuzz. So I'm gonna try it with a disinfectant wipe and see if they are less fuzzy.
Less fuzzy.
Less fuzzy. Although it probably would have helped if maybe I had, see, look, I'm getting that on my ungloved hand. Okay. So maybe it would make a difference if I sanded it real quick. So we're going to try an experiment. Because these edges are kind of picking up. Not that I can't pick it off, but I don't want to if I don't have to.
Hey, Ken, what elementary school did you go to? You got me thinking if we had, I don't think we went to the same elementary school.
Okay.
You went to Wells, but I don't remember if you went to, I don't think you went to Arlanza.
Okay. These
Where
are
you went?
disinfectant wipes. So I'm going to see if these are less fuzzy. I'm wondering if they're fuzzy because they're for babies. I don't know. These seem a little wetter. Okay, and this time I'm just going to put that on.
Ah, Terrace, okay. You were on that side of Van Buren. I mean, of Arlington. On the other side.
Other side. Other side of the tracks.
No, just Van Buren. I mean,
No,
Arlington.
Arlington. Okay, so this seems to be putting out a little less fuzz, but that could also be because I sanded it. And maybe I should have done some of these ahead of time so you don't have to sit here and watch me do them all. But
Jackie says they use both, but she tends to use pounds and ounces. I
okay.
think now we are no longer in the EU. We're reverting back to old school.
Oh. You're rebels too, huh? Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't catch on. I don't know the sociology of why Americans can't or won't switch over. I mean, they've had an entire generation or more exposed to it. But then again, from my experience, and maybe from yours too, is some kids can't even get the, what is it, the imperial system? What is?
We're on imperial system.
Yeah, they can't even get that. They can't understand inches, and they just don't understand measurement.
Even our boy Michael prefers to use metric measurements. He prefers to use because it's tin based, and that's
Yeah, it's
for his brain.
easier to do mental math.
Yeah, but and he feels like he can be a little more accurate with it. And so when I was teaching printing and graphic design, I found that about a third of the students would understand the fractions. A third I would already understand them. A third would probably catch on to them better in my class. But there's a third that's just not ever going to get it. It's just going to boggle their mind. And that was just what I saw over 20 years of teaching. That happened every year. That happened in measurements, and it happened in there's something else that's being used too. I can't remember right off the top. But anyway, that was just part of how it went.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this
Ken
is
said he learned metric with tools, and that's all he uses is metric with tools. Hi, Patty. We're all
Hey,
great.
Patty. Haven't heard from you for a while. Busy with grandchildren? We are, for anybody who has popped on, I am making a surface out of paint sticks. And this is going to fit our 12 by 18 transfer. And I'm using turquoise. Like I said, my mother would have loved this color. I like it. I just don't tend to decorate with it. Although, that's not true. I haven't really decorated the bathroom here. I used to have a bathroom that was in peacock colors, so there was quite a bit of turquoise in that. So I can't say I don't decorate with turquoise.
Oh, Patty said she's been quarantining with Gigi.
Yeah.
Gigi?
Gigi, is that your granddaughter?
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's keeping her busy and waiting on her. Of course
Of course
is.
you are, and you're loving every minute of it. Does she still have the mild symptoms? I hope. Okay, I'm going to switch over. That's losing a little moisture, so I'm going to switch over to another one. Ooh, should have sanded this. So I think this is going to look very rusticy with that wood grain popping through. You don't normally see the wood grain on teal.
Says she's feeling better. Thanks. She's out of school until Tuesday. Cheryl, you beat me to it. Yes, Jackie, a stick of butter is 8 tablespoons or a half a cup. If you're working in cups, a stick of butter is a half of a cup.
Is that true across the board? Because I've seen in other countries, their butter comes in
That's why
a different shape. Is that what she's
the
saying?
conversation is going that she doesn't know how to do the recipes because they don't use the cup.
Oh.
And so
Well, I'm assuming that they package their butter in the same sizes. I don't know.
can't follow American recipes because you use cups as measurements and sticks of butter.
Sticks of butter, yeah.
Yeah.
You can always Google it.
Now, Jackie says that turquoise would look good in her newly decorated bedroom.
Yes, because you've got that mossy green and cream. I actually Googled what colors coordinate with teal or turquoise, and basically, depending on your preference, you can pair just about anything with teal or turquoise.
If you want to go back to the 80s, you can put coral with it.
Well, we're gonna kind of do.
So on my screen, I don't know what you guys are seeing, but on my screen, that teal color that she's working with is actually a little more blue on the screen than it is in real life. In real life, it's got a little more green to it.
Which is good because the ribbon I have kind of has green. So I'm not sure how that will. Almost done. I've got about 6 of them done. I just need to make sure I do all the edges. Most of it won't show, but that's okay. We want to be thorough. Just dropped that. I don't know why I just put on one glove. So I'll have one teal hand and one not teal hand. Okay. Now this dries pretty quickly. That's another thing. If I had painted this, especially with acrylic paints, if I had painted it, I'd probably want to let it dry overnight to cure to set or to bond to the wood. But because this is so watered down, I could also do this by just really watering down the paint, and I could just brush it on. But I think this puts the minimal amount on at a time. And I think it dries faster. You may end up really liking these colors. And if it's not as dark as you want it, here's a tip. Let it dry and then go back over it. And it will like pick up a second dose of the color. Come on. Out of there. Get that going. So, what does everybody have any plans for the weekend coming up?
You're not following the.
No, I'm
steps,
not.
Because let me get you caught
Okay.
up. Jackie says butter is packed in 500-gram blocks.
Okay.
And Jackie says that's a half pound. Cheryl says ours in 4-ounce sticks, 4 to a box, so 1 pound per box. 500 is almost a pound.
Are we having a math lesson?
Wait a minute. I think 500 grams.
Google it.
I know.
Google conversion.
2.21 pounds.
Pounds?
2.21 cups. 2.21 cups. So basically 2 1/4 cups
But now, are we measuring by volume
by volume.
or by weight?
That would be volume.
Or does it
2
matter?
cups.
Which is a whole other, just put in a whole bunch of butter. Ooh, I love teal with deep purple. You know what?
So 17.67 ounces, that'd be really close to 2 1/4 pounds. And Jackie says, or you can spray the wood sticks with water.
Yes.
That's an idea.
Yep, that would kind of spread it a little.
Cheryl, you are right. And Christina says I love teal with deep purple.
And you know, I agree.
Dark
And
deep purple.
I was actually going to look at deep purple, but
I used to listen to deep purple.
right now, the only deep purple paste that Chalk Couture has is the shimmer. What is it? It's a shimmer purple. They used to have a color called Regal, which was a dark purple that didn't have the shimmer. But I'm hoping they didn't completely retire it, but it's not available in this catalog right now. I'm hoping they bring it back at the springtime because it was very pretty. But it's not available right now. I don't know. There's a light purple, but
Jackie says she measures in weight, as you should.
Okay.
Cheryl says she made a living using math because she was a bookkeeper.
oh, awesome. I started out as a bookkeeper.
You did. It's true.
I did. Yep. Yep. And then I followed my children to school. Okay. Real fast, I'm going to do these guys too. They're going to be on the back, but I still want them painted. Sorry, just picked 250 grand.
Did you have to take off your shoes to count that high, Ken? Because I have to take off my shoes to count to 20. He said I can count to 100 because that's how many inmates was locked in with at work.
Did you were you sheriffs? That would have been sheriff department, right?
No, he was military.
Oh, military. Weren't you
Oh,
sheriff?
no.
Weren't you sheriffs?
I'm sorry, I was thinking when he was in military. By the way, I saw a picture of some young guy with a caterpillar on his upper lip.
It looks a little like Hitler.
State correction. State correction.
State crit. Okay.
Oh, who else was out there? I don't know if he was in state corrections or not.
Well, let's ask.
Who just
Oh.
had their down in Riverside had the lung transplant?
That I don't know.
Can't think of
Oh.
his name. We'll think of it here in a second, Ken. I don't know if he was in state corrections or not.
I think he
Seems
was
like-
sheriff's.
Seems like he was in.
Darlene Cabrera.
Cabrera.
What was his name?
Worked with somebody named Cabrera.
Why can't I think of his name? His wife's name was Darlene.
I'm having a complete blank.
Well, don't tell him.
I can see his face.
I know.
Everything about it. I just can't think of his name all of a sudden. That's part of being old, I think.
And I'm trying to do the couple's name, you know, like Tim and Bobby, something and Darlene, and it's just not coming to me. Not at your prison.
Yeah.
Wayne
Wayne
Cabrera. No, we've outed him.
My nephew, his wife is she a sergeant now out at Banning?
I don't know. I know she got a promotion.
I know. Yeah, I don't know if she made it a sergeant yet or not, but I know she was up there. She's at Banning.
She's in.
You were in Norco, correct, Ken? I can't remember where you were. I thought that's where Wayne was, but he might have been out at Chino.
Okay. I'm glad we're not on a time frame here.
I am too, because I'm sitting here watching paint dry, and I am totally excited.
Oh, that sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, while I'm
Yes, meaning that you were in Norco.
okay. Okay. One more, and then I'm going to clean this hand.
Yay!
So-
My teal hands on my wife.
I
I'm so
know.
glad she put a glove
I
on
know.
your hand.
So I did that so that you could see what would happen if you didn't put a glove on your other hand.
That's why she did it.
It was an experiment. Okay.
You know, my phone is showing up answers faster than the computer is.
Okay. So we've got all of those painted. This is the difference. This hand is not teal, and this hand is. So again, if you're going to use gloves, you might want to use two of them. It does come off, but it takes a second. It takes a second. I could probably get this off really fast with my board eraser. Voice. I don't know what that means.
So you were sergeant at CRC in 2000, 2003, 2003, and then went back to CRC in Norco.
Okay. Set these aside.
It's too bad I know about all these places. My first dad incarcerated in one, but I was in jail every year from the time I was 13. Every Christmas
Just at
I was
Christmas.
in jail. The time I was 13 till I moved up here.
Okay. So I am going to, what I'm going to start with is I'm going to
Are we getting on to something now? Are we doing something?
not quite yet. We're still watching paint dry,
Okay, we're watching paint dry.
but I'm going to speed it up a little bit because I want my glue. We're going to hot glue these together, and we're going to use these as bracing on the back.
Hey, Alana, did you learn anything?
Was it your coaching? A coaching
I think
class?
Tim was also watching
Or-
the program to
Or, oh, was it
it's a
like one of
webcast
the freebie?
how to your determine things. I was going to do it, but my wife has other plans at 6 o'clock. And
All you had to do was tell me in advance.
whatever.
Whatever. Okay. So I'm going to make sure those are dry. Okay, so what we're doing, Alana, is we are making a surface out of the 5-gallon paint sticks. And we are going to put this transfer on it. Let your heart be glad. I like that. That kind of makes me think of be thankful, be grateful. Okay.
What color are you going to print on that?
I am going to, I have, hold on.
Okay, so she's turning them over.
I'm
right
turning
now.
them
Got all
over.
the measurement parts on the back. So when she glues it together,
And I'm gonna
and you
do
took the
it
time
sideways.
you took the time to look at it, and see which way.
Yeah,
you
I kind of looked at it. There's one that had something on the edge, and I wanted to make sure that was actually on the edge of my. So I've got these. Now they're not totally square. So they might be slightly picket fence looking, but that's okay.
Already start. So Alana says she did learn something. She learned about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and non-refundable transfers and a whole bunch of other high-tech stuff that he didn't know about, and that he does not recommend. All you had to do is ask me. I could have told you that. And then Ken said, responding, it's about time that she's now watching, and so she's. Should I tell Ken what she told me today?
No,
No?
because it's my turn.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got these laid out, and I'm using, I don't know if you want to go overhead, I'm using just an extra one of these to kind of give it, to make sure that's as lined up as I can, and it's not a perfect edge. You can see this one is kind of up a little bit. In fact, I might,
Actually, they can't see it. 'cause
you
your
can't
thumb's
see it,
over
my
the
thumb
top.
is in the way. Okay, so you can kind of see this one's a little
They're probably
shorter.
not cut straight.
No.
And you
But
had a
that's
husband
okay.
with a table saw. He probably could have made all those
Okay.
perfect.
So I've got them lined up, and I've got them butted up against each other because I want to make sure, and I've got it upside down because I want it to be as flat as I can on the front side for when I chalk on it, so I don't have lots of ups and downs. Okay. And the camera is only going to show part of this, but I kind of need to be,
What do you need
Okay.
to do? Son?
well, part of me is over here,
Uh-huh.
and I want people to be able to see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this. This is
You haven't done what I told you to do on those yet. So.
no. Okay. So I want to get these a little more centered so you can see what I'm doing.
So if you line it all up on the lines, the lines will keep you straight.
Yep.
You know what I think those would make good? I could see doing that with and painting them like an American flag.
Oh, that would be pretty.
Do 13 of them
Okay,
like
so
that.
maybe we'll do that in Memorial Day or, okay, so then I'm going to end up putting one, I think I did 4, 2,
It's pretty wide. I'd have to cut them down and make them 13.
3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to glue those down so that will brace the back of, this. So I'm going to
The
use
heat gun.
the Big Daddy heat gun. Okay. And center that. And I'm pushing them together so there's no gaps, and I'm pushing down so that it's flat on the front.
So you got a finger on the top one and you got a thumb on the bottom one. You're
Yes, so I'm
them
pushing them together so there's no
And-
gaps in
yeah.
between, and I'm pushing down. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing back here.
I don't know what happened, but since Alana come here, everybody just stopped talking.
Uh-oh. They want to hear what Alana has to say.
Should we blame Alana?
No. You're going to be nice to Alana. Okay, so again, I'm
Always nice to Alana.
pushing them together.
I love Alana. Always
And-
nice to her.
Pushing them down. Till that sets. He was upstairs in the kennel.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put the other two on, but that's what it's going to look like. Is that not cool?
That's so cool.
That's so pretty. That's so pretty. Okay, so let me put these last two on. And if I did the top and the bottom, if I squeezed them together enough, I shouldn't have to do it here, but I'm going to, just in case they're a little tweaked.
Alana, you need to go back and look at our conversation because we were talking about metric system and how we don't use it here in America. And then Jackie's on with us tonight, so we were saying, well, do you use metric or imperial? And she said what was his statement, since they're no longer part of the youth, no longer part of the
Brexit, because of Brexit.
That's it. Because of Brexit, they're going back to the imperial measurements on stuff. I thought that was hilarious. It
Okay.
made me laugh.
Okay, ta-da! There we go. I've got my board. It's got this little picket fence thingy, which I kind of like. Okay. If you didn't like it, you could get a table saw and you could cut those off.
You could.
You could.
Get a table
Okay,
saw.
you could.
Just run right down and get one.
And there's a little gap here, but that's okay. And because this is paint on wood, I'm going to wax. So I've got my surface wax. And I have my microfiber cloth.
Oh, hey, did we ever figure out the chocolate cake thing?
Oh, I never did post it.
Yeah,
I still haven't posted the chocolate cake recipe. Okay, so 2 reasons for the surface wax. I want to protect the paint from it being pulled up when I pull up the sticky transfer. And the wax is actually going into the grooves of the wood to kind of flatten out that surface. Put that together, kind of remind me of when we used to. This is high-class popsicle sticks.
That's what it is.
Yes, this is grown-up popsicle sticks.
Grown-up popsicle sticks. Wow.
Okay, so I've got wax on it. Now I'm going to buff that wax off. Because we don't want too much wax. I think he went to go get another piece of cake. Okay. Done with the wax. Put that away. Get these glue strands off. Put these away. Okay, let's get out our transfer. Again, this is Let Your Heart Be Glad. If this transfer is something you're interested in, you can type in the word glad in the comments, and my bot will send you a link to my chop shop, and this is in the cart, and a bunch of the other supplies are in the cart. So take a look. While this is still available, this is part of the winter warm-up, which is a temporary catalog that we've got going. So when they sell out, they will be retired. You won't be able to get them. So if you like it, you're going to want to get it right away. Okay, so I'm peeling it off of my backer sheet, and I'm going to save that. And I'm fuzzing it because it's really sticky. And I don't want it to stick so hard to this that it pulls up the paint. or sticks so hard that I stretch the transfer when I go to lift it. Now you can hardly see this. This is just about the same color. Okay. So something this big especially, I'm starting with the center and I'm going up and I'm going out, pushing it down. And I can already tell this is, that wax is working really well. It's having a little bit of trouble sticking, so I'm gonna have to be careful. You have to be careful when I'm pasting. You know what? I'm going to buff a little bit more. I'm thinking my transfer is having a little bit too much trouble sticking.
Well, I didn't go up for that, but you said something about cake, and
And he comes down. Yeah, you didn't even get a plate. You just grabbed it.
I'm
Just grabbed a piece. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay. To center this. And from the center up and out, pushing down, making sure there's no air bubbles. And now some of this is probably going to bleed a little bit because of the surface. It's not completely flat because it's those paint sticks, which isn't the highest quality wood. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to push really hard when I go to chalk it. Now the colors I want to use, for the letters, I want to use our Cadet, which is our dark blue. And for our flowers, I want to use Guava, which is kind of an orangey, mostly orange, orangey pink. It's kind of a mango color, but it's guava. And then there are some leaves that I thought I would do in pesto. And then there's these other little, they're like leaves, but they're kind of like connected hearts. I'm going to do that in Tide, which is a deeper teal. Okay, so that is the plan. So I think I'm going to start top down. So I'm going to start with our guava. And I'm going to stir this up. It's a little bit chunky. So I'm going to stir that up. Actually going to give it a little spritz of distilled water. Not much. And stir that in. Yeah, I'm using distilled water because that will not allow, or that will inhibit anything from growing, any bacteria growing in my paste when it's stored, because distilled water doesn't have any chemicals, it doesn't have any minerals, it's just basically pure water. So I stir that up. I want it to be like sour cream, Greek yogurt consistency. Okay.
Melissa says that she thinks that Tide is a much prettier color too.
I like Tide.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my pesto, I'm going to stir it up. It's not dry, it just was a little separated. So that's good to go.
You know, that's what I did. I made chicken tortilla soup today, and I didn't put any sour cream in mine.
And here's my Tide. That looks like it doesn't need anything because I've just used it recently. And then my Cadet.
I wish I could be better on the color. Because that Tide is, that's not,
Yeah.
in the screen it almost looks like the same as your Cadet. Not quite, but almost.
Yeah. There,
you
that's
go.
a little
That looks
better.
It's just those two cameras, I guess. I just
The
wish
difference
they could,
between the two cameras. Okay, so I've got all those stirred up, ready to go. Let's see. I'm going to start with, because I'm going to do paste and peel. So I'm going to start with, I'm also going to get out this is my multi-tool. This kind of gives me a smaller squeegee for some of these smaller areas.
That is really hard to see in the picture.
What?
Your stencil.
Oh, it's there.
I guess we'll see it as it gets revealed, huh?
Yes, indeed. Okay, so I'm not pushing hard, again, because my surface is a little uneven.
That's going to be the best view right now, I think. What, Duke? I have no chocolate cake for you. There's no chocolate cake for Duke.
We do not need you hyper.
Well-trained dogs will not eat your food off your plate. They'll sit there and stare at you, make you feel guilty the whole time.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Okay, so I've got
Good at
that.
this, but
And let me do, I'm going to do the leaves in pesto. It's not a leaf. Don't do that.
Liana said, I thought you were going to put your stir stick in your coffee.
Stranger things have happened.
Honestly, if she ever does, don't say a word. We're just going
let
to
her
sit there and
hey,
go with it.
This is non-toxic. So I could, it wouldn't kill me. Okay, so I'm going to use my guava on these flowers. And that little heart is going to be guava.
This is very colorful.
Mm-hmm.
The nice part is, even before we see the reveal, we're getting the colors because we're seeing the colors on the same color.
As the
screen.
background.
Yeah.
Oops. I just got some guava off the edge of my screen. So I'm going to have to clean that up. Okay, so I don't want this to dry. I'm going to come back and do the blue. I don't want this to dry in my screen, so I'm going to do a paste and peel. So I pasted it, and I'm going to peel this section up, and I don't want to clean that up before it dries. Okay, what do you think of those colors? And I'm going to give this just a quick dry. Now there might be some little issues right where the paint sticks join together. That's okay. It's all part of the look. Okay, and I'm going to lay that back down. And I'm not going to press down where I have already chalked, only where I still need to chalk.
You know, they said if you put your stir stick in there, it might not taste very well. It might taste like Tide.
It might. But we don't eat Tide Pods. Okay, so back to Tide here. And that's it for the Tide in this third. And some pesto. Pesto Joe, get it?
What am I getting?
Pesto Joe.
I get it. You made it funny.
You made it funny. Ooh. You don't want that. I don't want the pesto in the tide. Put that up later. Or I'll have to switch over to an ombre. Not an ombre, ombre. Okay. Back to.
I really like the mystery coming to life as you work. Yeah.
Okay, all from paint sticks. Okay, there's a heart that I want to be guava. There's a little heart. There's a little heart. Okay. So let's peel this up and dry it. I am liking those colors. Let's peel up this side. Then I have to figure out where I'm going to put this. I have my name in for it's not a thrift store, it's kind of an antique mall, crafters mall, and I've got my name in for a booth there, but they don't have any openings yet, so fingers crossed, because I'd like to be able to sell these finished pieces, because my house is only so big.
Yes. Amen.
So I'm pushing down where I still need to chalk. So I'd like to be able to sell my finished pieces. Okay. Pull this one off because I got it in the green. And then if I could sell some of the pieces, then I'd have more money to buy more supplies.
Oh.
To make more.
Is that how it works?
Well, ideally, that would be how it would work. In the perfect world, whoops, almost got that heart. So I'm scraping off my excess, putting it back in my container, not in my coffee, which I know would just delight you all to no end.
I think this style of artwork puts me in the mind of something. I wouldn't say like.
Not like Art Nouveau or anything like that.
No,
It's
even the colors are making me think of solvang or something like that. I mean, there's
Scandinavian.
Scandinavian maybe, but it's not really.
European? I don't know.
It's not told
I don't know.
What? Only Bill and Ken. Cheryl, you're mean.
What is Cheryl being mean about?
I asked him if I was a bad person.
Oh,
And Cheryl
she said
said
yes.
only Bill and Ken. Dogs, I don't mind giving you a couple of peanuts, but I can't give you a bunch because it's salted.
Almost done, people. Almost done.
I don't know how that's being mean, Cheryl. That's what I do in real life all the time. British Canal
Okay.
boat stout. You know what, Jackie, I think you might have just hit it.
You know what? That kind of dried. So let me hit that again.
Similar to blue china. I
Maybe.
can't picture that for some
Sandy Connor used to have that blue china. I don't know if you remember. Okay. Well. Okay, so some of it might have been a wax issue, but I think it's still good. There's some little spots that didn't quite lay down. But again, this is a very rustic looking surface. And I'm going to go back and just do the words, and I'm going to do that in our cadet, which is our deep blue. Make sure this is pushed down, because I've been messing with it with paste and pull.
Cheryl, she knew I was like this when I married her. In fact, how we both know that we raised our boys right is my sister had passed away 2 years back, and man, how long has it been since Priscilla graduated? Been a while anyway. And the night before her memorial service here, well, not here, but at the Riverside, I twisted my knee extremely bad, and I was on crutches at her memorial. So we're at her memorial. There's got to be 250 people or more there. Alana can tell you why, but there's got to be that many people there. I'm out in the middle of the floor talking to people, and I got the crutches.
This is at the reception.
At the reception after. And my boys walk up to each side and grab a crutch and walk away with them and leave me standing out there without any support. And we both sit there and laugh at it. So I laughed at him. That told me I raised him right. And Robin laughs at me. You just heard her chuckle just now. That's how my family has rolled for as long as I can remember.
Now, they would never do that to me.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Charmaine.
Charmaine. I say it wrong every time.
I don't know. Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
No, you're probably saying it right. You're smarter than me.
Okay, so we made this surface out of paint stir sticks, the 5-gallon kind. And we are chalking this big old
That is
transfer.
Looking good, too.
Chalking this big old transfer onto it. And I'm going to pick up my excess. And we're going to see the finished product. Okay, scrape off the excess. And I'm going to start from the top. Lift slowly. If I see a spot that I need to lay it back down, I can do that. Woohoo! I like that. I like that. I don't know.
She did good.
I'm not, I'm not tooting my own horn because all I did was scrape paste across a screen. But look at that. Is that not pretty? I wish you could see the difference in the colors. These little things don't look dark blue. They look a deeper turquoise.
I think Tim liked my story.
Let me get cleaned
A whole
up.
bunch of hearts. I think what you did there looks fabulous, baby.
Okay. Well, let's finish it up. I'm going to put lids on all of my pastes so they don't dry out.
Charmin? She said I said it right.
You did?
Right. So-
Okay, well, good
And
for
Cheryl
you,
says
Charmin.
beautiful.
Okay, so
And Jackie says definitely canal boat style.
canal
I can
boat
picture that
style.
in my head. I know
Well,
that.
that's Italian, isn't it?
Alana says beautiful. Patty
Okay.
says beautiful.
Okay, I'm gonna
And she said,
attempt.
"It's party."
The best way, honestly, the best way to clean this would be to go to the sink. How long? What time is it?
It is 7:03.
Okay. You've seen me clean stencils. I'm going to take this to the sink because it'll be a whole lot easier, or maybe even the bathtub. But basically, all I do is I spray it with water and use a paper towel and get all of this paste off. And then I get my board eraser. What?
No, other side, right there.
Oh, that's not where you sprayed me. Goodness
That's why
gracious.
Cheryl said I'm a bad person. Because I just let you roll, baby.
Well, there are worse things in life. Now I've got dribbles all over. Anyway,
She has very enthusiastic paint. She's
yes.
a very enthusiastic
Yes,
painter.
So anyway, back to cleaning. So I just clean this with water and I use my board eraser, and my goal is to get all of the paste out of that screen. I can tell you right now, the blue is going to stain the transfer part of it, but it won't matter as long as I can get the paste out of the screen. I am going to make my life easier, and I'm going to spray this down a little bit so that paste isn't dried in the screen. I can still get it clean, but it's a little more work if it's dry. So I'm just spraying it down. I'm going to set this aside. Our transfers are reusable 10 to 12 times if you take good care of them, clean them up afterwards. And let me just make sure this is dry. There's a couple little spots that kind of bled. And I'm going to use my detail tool and see if I can clean up some of that. Because I waxed the surface, I can kind of scrape some of that away. And it bleeds because the surface isn't completely flat. There's some grooves in it. Okay, so what I wanted to do is...
Are you doing extra on this one too?
Well, maybe. I'm thinking this would be a good contrast. I'm going to just do...
That's out of frame.
Okay, I've got this orangey ribbon, and I'm just going to... What am I going to do?
I don't know.
What am I going to do? I want to feed it in and out of this top. Do I want it? Maybe I want it the other way.
That's all. That's all.
Up, down,
Not too
up,
much
down,
salt for you,
up,
buddy.
down. Okay, I think I want it this way.
I think that orange looks real good with the flowers.
It's not an exact match,
No, but it pops.
but it
In
pops.
fact, it gives a little bit of.
Okay. So
contrast.
I'm going to glue this down.
I don't know which way to do this camera thing. Try that.
Hot, hot, hot.
And be careful, that glue is hot.
Thank you, dear. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, so I'm going to go up. Am I in the camera? Up, down, up. It's grabbing onto where it's not, where it's not sanded. Okay, so I'm going to do that with it. What do you think? And I'm going to turn it over. Put that down. Almost done.
Getting lots of hearts anyway.
Thank you.
Cheryl says she likes it.
Good. So I've got that there, and I was thinking about
Cheryl says she likes it.
doing a bow, not an outrageous bow. With some of that and some of that. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I've got this. I got this from the Dollar Tree. It's,
She likes it.
I'm going to just make an awareness bow. I need some string. So to make an awareness bow, to make an awareness bow, that's what I call it, you kind of form it into a shape of an awareness bow, and then you just kind of scrunch it all down like that. And I'm going to get a piece. You know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to get, I've got a little clippy here. I'm just going to put them both together. So I'm going to hold that for right now. I'm going to do the same thing with this, only slightly smaller. So awareness loop, like this. Awareness loop, and then squish it together. Do I want that bigger? I think I want that just a little bit bigger. Squish it together, undo that. Put these two together. And got some cord. And I'm going to tie it off in the back. Way too much cord. That's okay. Okay. So I'm going to do what's called a surgeon's knot, I'm told. So you just make a regular knot, and then you loop it around one more time. And then when you pull it tight, it doesn't ease up on itself. It stays tight. So take a look at that. Out just a bit. Okay. So far, so good. Let's see that. So far, so good. Okay, so I'm going to finish tying this off. Finish tying this off. Trim that. Trim that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this, because I don't want that cord, to show. So I'm going to fold that in thirds. And
Hot glue it.
hot glue it.
Don't burn yourself. It's hot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I only say it because I love you.
Hold that in place till it sets. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of scrunch and twist and finagle, and then I think I'm going to dovetail, whatever it's called.
You fold it half, cut a 45-degree angle, and away you go.
This. Almost done.
Yay!
I do these. Yay!
Yay!
You don't like spending time with our friends?
I love spending
Our
time with
crafting
our
friends?
I just,
You just gone on long enough?
They've gone sleep.
I've got them mesmerized.
It's almost 3:15 with Jackie.
Well, I'm sorry.
Jackie, you need to go to bed.
Okay, so I'm gonna stick that right up about there. Glob of glue. Press it down.
Like a little glob will do you.
Little glob will do ya. Let that set. Clean up my trash. And I'm about ready to lift it up and show you the finished product. Okay, so again, if you're interested in this transfer, let your heart be glad. Type in the word glad in the comments and my bot will send you a link. And you'll get a cart with this transfer in it and some of the other tools. I didn't put any paste in it because I'm not sure what colors you are interested in. What do you think? Oh, might be a little too close in color. Might have needed a little more contrast, but it looks good in person.
It really
What do you
does.
think? Don't mistake silence for being bored. We're anything but bored. You're soaking all the sin, soaking all this. You're doing voice to text, right?
Ken did her there. Robin does great work, that's true.
Okay, so anyway, cute little thing. Could be for Valentine's Day, could be for year round. Whatever you prefer. But again, glad if you want to get the transfer. It's one of the winter warm-up transfers, so don't wait too long or they will sell out. And that is our project for tonight. Thank you, Charmin. Charmin, did I say it right? Thanks, Alana. Thanks, Melissa. Oh, okay. I hope I have sufficiently bored you, Jackie. Okay, so let me pose. Okay, and we will be, thank you for the stars. And we will be back on tomorrow night, I believe. Yeah, tomorrow night. What is it? Friday night, crafting on a Friday night. We'll see you about 6. And until then, like our page, follow our page, spread the video to your friends. And if you would like to join our email list, type email. And otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.